Maybach music.
Yo, what is up guys, this is Beats. This is part 2 of the Dreams and Nightmares Deconstructed video. I did a part 1 where it goes over all the beautiful piano, violin, cello instruments. So go check out part 1 if you haven't already, but this is part 2. This beat was made by a producer called The Beat Bully. Highly underrated producer in my opinion, but dude, this beat was so legendary back in the day, man. It even inspired me to start making beats, and it's still going strong to this day. This beat came out in 2013 and they're still playing it at Philadelphia Eagles games. This song is just so legendary. So in order to make this beat as accurate as possible, I did two things. I wanted to use sounds that were only around in 2012 and 2013, and also I got the Beat Bully drum kit here on the left side of the screen. Let's get right into the Deconstructed. These are going to be all your choir sounds, a pizzicato sound coming in here, some brass samples, piano keys, brass, a trap bell, and the rest of these are going to be all your drums. So starting off with the choir sound, again, trying to keep it authentic and use sounds that were from 2012. I used a few sound fonts, and for those who don't know, a sound font is essentially the in-between of a one-shot and an actual plugin. A sound font lives somewhere in the middle. So for instance, if I were to drag this sound font here, and create a whole new thing, it's gonna open Direct Wave. It's like a plugin on its own. So to start, we have this one, the Floristan Awe Choir. Layering that with another one. We now have a sound font called the KBH Real and Swell Choir. And one more playing different notes. So I bounce those out into 3 separate wave files. It'll sound like this. All right, next in this intro, you got some piano keys. For this, we are just using FL keys. Next, we are using Nexus, which I think was around in 2012, using the native synth brass. Lastly, we have a trap bell coming in. All right, and all the instruments together. Cool, and for the drums, you only have 2 instruments coming in. For this, you're using an OG little trap triangle. And lastly, your 808. So for this, like I said, I used his drum kit and found one called the Knockin' 808. So you got a few 808 patterns throughout the beat, but here is the first one that comes in. And everything together. And just something to note with the trap triangles and the 808, they just cut the edge of this pattern. So by using Alt-C, you have your slicer tool. They just made a cut here, and then they chopped this section into 4 pieces. So this section we just went through repeats, and now we got another section coming in. I'll let that transition. So similar to what we did with the choirs, we're just using older sound fonts for this. This is a Little John Crunk Pizzicato. So just bounce that out into a wave file with a little bit of reverb together with your choirs. But now you have a hi-hat coming in. For this, we're just using a Lex Luger OG hi-hat. Next, we have an open hat playing whenever the snare hits. For this, I found one in the Beat Bully drum kit, the Nerdy Open Hat. And lastly, we got some snares. So for the snares, I layered 3 together. Got a Trapaholic snare, the ASAP snare, and another one from, I think it was a Cardiac kit around that time, the Vanilla Sky snare. All of them together. Using the same 808, we have a second 808 pattern coming in. right, let's transition into the final section where we have some brass coming in. Okay, so you already know the drill. For the brass, we're using sound fonts again. This one was one of the most common sound fonts back in the day, the Pro Kits Gutter Brass. All right, together with your choir, pizzicato, and just the brass. And everything else. Okay, so once this brass section is done, we go back to pretty much what we were playing in the initial part right here. All right, and as far as arrangement goes, you have this little gap here before we basically just repeat everything. All right, man, I just gotta play the intro one more time and then we'll wrap this video up. Right, you got the MMG tag and then everything just turns to chaos.
The Maybach music.
All right, guys, I think that wraps it up for this video. Thank you so much for sticking with me till the end, and sorry for the delay in getting this one out, but I really hope you guys like this beat as much as I did, and I hope you liked this video or you learned something from it. If you did, you know what to do. Until then, I guess I will catch you all in the next video.